This new year, right before CES 2026 kicks off, the tech world is already buzzing with reveals. First came the rumors of OpenAI's Smart Pin, expected to launch in Q1 2026. Then Click's Technology stepped in for the BlackBerry loyalists, reviving the era of physical keyboards with Click's Communicator, a compact Android 16. So, let's talk about it. So, OpenAI is reportedly moving beyond software with its first consumer hardware device, for which reportedly $60 billion is raised. According to Financial Times, the project is codenamed Gumdrop, and the most interesting detail attached to it isn't the memory, it's the name Jony Ive, the same designer who helped shape Apple's hardware identity for decades. If the leaks are accurate, OpenAI and Loveform, Jony Ive's design studio, are building this together. And unlike every other consumer gadget announcement, OpenAI isn't positioning this as a mere accessory. Is that they want it to be a third core device, something that lives at the same ecosystem level as your iPhone and MacBook. That ambition sounds familiar because Rabbit and Humane said almost the same thing before launching their devices. The difference is those companies sold hardware first and asked users to believe the intelligence later. The world judged them brutally because the devices didn't live up to the expectations. They eventually turned out to be major flops. OpenAI is doing the opposite, earning model trust first, then placing hardware quietly as the next surface for interaction. The device form hasn't been fully locked, but the strongest leaks point to a smart AI pin, something familiar enough to blend into daily use without needing instructions. The design hints at Jony Ive's philosophy. Hardware that doesn't demand attention. It quietly earns a place. The pin is expected to digitize handwriting instantly, turning your analog notes into structured text that can be stored, searched, summarized, or expanded inside ChatGPT or future OpenAI models. Beyond writing, the pin may include multiple input sensors. A built-in microphone could allow you to speak naturally to the device, making questions, reminders, or brainstorming feel faster and more frictionless than pulling out your phone. There are also rumors of compact camera module, not for a screen, but for perception, capturing context from your surroundings, like a tiny set of eyes that understands what you're pointing at, reading, or reacting to. This could extend to basic object or text recognition, allowing the pen to analyze printed or handwritten pages, diagrams, or small whiteboard scribbles in real time. Early reports hinted at contextual awareness sensors, light, proximity, and motion trackers that help the pen understand what you're writing, pausing, walking, or dictating. A small onboard processor and wireless radios, Bluetooth plus Wi-Fi, would likely handle connectivity, syncing notes or voice queries to your paired phone or directly to the cloud. Experimental compact imaging sensors that could help the pen interpret offline environments, your desk, notebooks, or documents, to feed a growing context window without needing a display to confirm it. However, OpenAI isn't alone in exploring this space. Even before the OpenAI rumors landed, the market had a few players trying to make analog input smarter. The Nua Pen already exists, built specifically to digitize handwriting, syncing your notes into an app without a screen in sight. Flotica's Smart Pen, priced at $89, already adds voice transcription and AI note uploads, but none of them carry what OpenAI carries, an AI model that hundreds of millions already interact with, trust, and return to daily. The pen isn't the point, the intelligence behind it is. And back in May 2025, OpenAI acquired a hardware startup simply called IO, founded by Jony Ive's own design studio, Loveform. That deal brought 55 engineers into OpenAI's walls for $6.4 billion. It told us one thing clearly: OpenAI was done flirting with hardware rumors and started committing money and talent to actually build it. And according to the leak, the pen was originally expected to be manufactured by Luxshare in China. That plan is reportedly scrapped. The new supply chain is non-China, and Foxconn, the same Taiwanese manufacturing titan that assembles iPhones and Pixel phones, is now expected to be the main producer, primarily in Vietnam, with a secondary possibility of US manufacturing. Even the chip inside is unconfirmed, though Qualcomm is rumored to be chasing the partnership aggressively. But let's step back. Why a pen? Right now, if you want to ask ChatGPT something, you reach for your phone, unlock it, open the app, and type or speak. That process has friction, Even small delays add up. Gumdrop's promise is friction reduction. You speak to the pen, it understands you, it sends your questions or notes into the model, and it returns responses through paired devices, phone, earbuds, or other terminals. It makes interaction feel faster because it removes the small pauses between intent and action. Is it meant to replace your phone? Probably not. The watch didn't replace the iPhone either. But I suspect this will be pretty successful because it will trick people. The core idea is physiological, not technical. Users don't fully trust AI agents to take over tasks that feel like work, and that hesitation makes sense. Writing, thinking, and instructing feel like an effort, and people trust themselves more when they believe they're the ones doing it. By replacing the input model with something physical like a pencil or pen, users feel like they're doing the work while AI shifts into the background as a tool, not the actor. The device won't remove slop. It will simply hide its origin better and make the interaction feel less uncanny. Instead of engaging with an LLM live, where hallucinations and odd self-justification are exposed instantly, the user writes a virtual instruction physically and receives results later, creating a buffer that masks uncertainty. That's exactly what made devices like Rabbit R1 and Humane feel impressive in reveals, but underwhelming in daily use. Now, if you are nostalgic about BlackBerry phones, those iconic biscuit-shaped smartphones of the early 2010s with hard plastic buttons placed below simple, low-res touchscreens have inspired the look of the new product from Click's technology. Click's introduced an Android smartphone with a physical keyboard for communication, a compact device with a keyboard designed as a second phone for the iPhone. The device is focused on communication, not content consumption. The custom launcher immediately displays messengers. The phone is dubbed the Click's Communicator and features a tactical keyboard, a 4-inch OLED display, a 3.5mm headphone jack, and expandable micro SD storage up to 2 terabytes. The interface is built on Android 16 and supports hardware-level encryption. Even though Click says it wants to leave content capture to a user's primary device, the communicator still sports a 50MP main camera and a 24MP front camera. The phone also has NFC to support Google Pay, along with Bluetooth and Wi-Fi capability. Its 4000 mAh battery can be charged via USB-C or wireless charging. While the communicator may look like a BlackBerry or Palm device from days gone by, it carries modern features like a fingerprint sensor in the spacebar. It also has what Click calls a signal LED, which is a customizable alert light that lets users know when specific people or apps are causing notifications. As much as Click talks about its new phone as a secondary device, it follows the trend of minimalist or dumb phones, as more users pull away from an overexposure to technology, social media, and notifications. Some might even find it compelling as a primary device, but the secondary device idea feels unproven. Having 2 phones would mean 2 phone plans with 2 phone numbers, which could be impractical for many users. The communicator can be reserved now for $399 and will increase to $499 on February 27th. But for users wanting a tactical keyboard to use with standard smartphones, Click has made the Power Keyboard. It features a QWERTY layout with directional keys and a number arrow. It attaches via MagSafe or QI2. It has a 2150 mAh battery to help keep your phone topped up. The phone can then be flipped into either a horizontal or vertical orientation, which ends up resembling a T-Mobile Sidekick. The keyboard is compatible with both iOS and Android, and since it pairs via Bluetooth, it can also be used with tablets, smart TVs, and virtual reality headsets. Pre-orders for the Power Keyboard will open January 2nd, and an actual launch is expected in the spring. The keyboard will retail for $110, though early bird pricing is available for $80. However, most of the hype being generated is centered around the nostalgia for it resembling a BlackBerry, rather than the actual product itself. For $399, the majority of people would prefer to buy a proper phone with no restrictions. I respect the attempt, but I know for a fact that it is set to fail in the long run. But Click doesn't seem to be targeting mass adoption. It is more for the niche segments who are looking for a fun secondary device. Consider Sony Walkman, for example, a device that serves a niche. Realistically, any product built entirely around being a second or alternate phone is unlikely to ever scale into an industry standard. So, do you think AI hardware like the rumored OpenAI Smart Pen and the Clix Communicator keyboard phone will find a real consumer market, or will both end up like the Rabbit R1, a device that promised a new era but flopped when people actually used it? Comment below. And if you want the real story behind the world's fastest moving AI tech, make sure to like and subscribe for daily updates.